The following is a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.
He's back. Michael Coleman, Heart of Alabama Food Bank. He's the CEO. I'm Tony Curry here on our Tony Curry Radio Podcast Network. Thanks for watching. Of course, we also have a wonderful show called Mission Mind. Keep your mind, your mission, your mind. You can hear that on 101.1. The Truth, coming up March 16th. So we're going to be all over the place. And yes, the visual aspect will be there as well. Yeah, we were talking on that show about people who love to give to their favorite organizations. The Heart of Alabama Food Bank is certainly one of those. I was at Publix the other day and they were like, would you like to give a couple of dollars to your local food bank? And I said, absolutely. Yeah. And then I started saying, well, let me tell you about the food bank. Let me tell you about the show that I'm doing here. And next thing you're like, just get your broccoli and get the hell out of my line. I was like, no, I'm doing a show with the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. You got to hear about it. They're like, whatever. But it isn't funny. You know, I think I did something with the ASPCA, one of their feed the dogs, the food bowl thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Those commercials. If you show anything in slow motion, it's going to make you cry.
No doubt.
Seeing these dogs, the bowl in their mouth, and I'm a pet lover. And the minute I gave, next thing you know, I'm getting stuff in the mail from all kinds of different organizations. And I get it. I understand. Care.com, I was getting all this stuff. So if I do give the Heart of Alabama Food Bank, you mentioned how important it is to protect your donors. Can you talk about how you do that and how you make sure that you don't sell that information?
Yeah, so we definitely protect the information, but it's like you said, some people are a little hesitant about not only what you do with their information and how well you protect it, but also do you abuse contacting them? It was funny because I had a guy, we kind of have a different process that we've developed depending on how our donors are segmented. So, for instance, if they are considered a major donor, I'm not going to send them monthly appeals because monthly appeals are kind of a call to action. It's the $10, the $25, the $50, and they're very, very important. And you never know when you're going to hit somebody, so it feels like, you just keep asking.
Mm-hmm.
But on our major donors, our mid-level donors, we have a little bit different approach. We send out our newsletters to keep them informed of what we're doing. But yeah, I cannot begin to tell you the number of times people have called me. Like I was fixing to talk about this one guy said, hey, I got your card. I did a personalized handwritten card. He had made a very generous donation. And he said, thanks. That's enough for me. Don't send me anything else.
Wow. Okay.
And he's because his view was, hey, you spend all this time, and I'm like, I send you a note, and then every month you bombard me with, oh, well, here's an endless supply of money, and just keep hitting and a lot of people look at that as, hey, it's a waste of money. And the truth of the matter is, I get that because it always feels like the asking never ends.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say this. Sometimes you have to make decisions where you go, yeah, the industry standard is this. All the experts out there recommend this. And one of those is every time we would get a donation and you do a thank you letter and it gets sent back, you send them another envelope in there. You don't ask for more money, but you send the next envelope.
Yeah, you do. Yes.
And I said, you know what? I don't care if it diminishes our return. I don't want to send the message that here, thanks now. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
One of the things I do too that a lot of people don't recommend is in January, we come out of giving season, which is, November, December. I don't send out any requests for donations in January just to give donors a breath of, just some space to breathe. And it's very subtle, and most probably don't even give it another thought, but it's like, I appreciate our donors so much. I protect their information, and I don't want to take them for granted. I just don't want to constantly pound them for more and more new stuff. So, but there is also a mechanism. If somebody sends us a note, they could do an email, they could call us, they could do, send a letter, whatever. There's a mechanism when we call up their donor record where it says, do not call, solicit, or mail. So if we do an electronic newsletter every single month. Now, we don't have everybody's emails, but for those that we do, and the very first thing we do when we create that list to send it out to is we identify who says do not email or do not solicit. And we eliminate everybody who has selected that option to get them off the list.
Yeah.
And again, just to protect, you want to adhere to the donor's wishes and be respectful, but you also don't want to leave potentially missed opportunities. So it's a constant dance. But like I said in Mission Minded, I had an opportunity to get a really reliable list to send out to inform people of what we were doing, but the cost was I was going to have to share my database. I said, absolutely not willing to do it. Are our donors going to know that? No.
By the way, that's how Facebook works too. By the way, if you ever do business with Facebook, you'll be like, how do they do the ads so cheap? And of course, we do a lot of business with Facebook, but it's the same thing. If you want to do business with them, that's how they get their algorithms. That's how they know where to pour gas. So they have to get your list too. So you have to share in order to share. So it's necessary.
So it's all kind of, you have to, and the truth of the matter is, a lot of people don't have a strong enough ethics or a core of ethics that says, hey, this is going to produce more money. So that kind of drives the decision making. And sometimes you have to say, well, I get it's going to get more money, but I'm also violating the trust of the thousands who have donated to us. And I'll just close it with this, just in case somebody's wondering. The reason those lists are so valuable, so a list from our donors would be valuable, is because they could go to the post office and get a list of everybody in the city. Mm-hmm. You can even get, and they're not great, you could pay for that list. But what my list is a group of people that have been willing to donate money towards a cause.
Yeah.
Okay, like food banking. So I've pulled those people. My list would segment society and say these people are willing to donate towards causes they care about. So another, like an ASPCA or whatever, my list would be very valuable to them because they don't have to just throw darts at the wall. They're like, no, this list of people who have donated and we can make an appeal to. So the temptation is always there if you think you can bring in more money for your organization. But protecting information is vital, respecting our donors, valuing our donors, and not just constantly beating them over the head for more money. All of that goes into our donor management style. We hope we're doing it right. We hope our donors understand we're trying to be mindful of them, and we're just so appreciative of what they do.
And we appreciate what you do as well. Have yourself a good weekend, my friend.
You too, buddy.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.